Okay, so we've all daydreamed about it at some point, right? The ultimate sci-fi superpower, reading minds. But today, in this explainer, we aren't looking at it through the lens of comic books or superheroes. We're going to bring it straight into reality to analyze the brutal mechanics, the strategy, and honestly, the severe limitations of temporary telepathy, all based on the concepts from the 60-minute Oracle.
So I want you to picture this. You're just going about your normal day, minding your own business, and suddenly a glowing cosmic timer appears right in your field of vision. It reads exactly 60 minutes. For 1 hour, and 1 hour only, you have absolutely unrestricted telepathy. What would you actually do? I mean, it sounds like unlimited power, right? But as we're about to see, the reality is a whole lot more complicated. Let's jump into part one, the ticking clock. Because here's the thing. Your absolute biggest obstacle isn't the actual magic of mind reading, it's that unforgiving ticking clock. Put yourself in the hot seat for a second. If you only have exactly 60 minutes, you are geographically locked. You simply do not have the time to go catch a flight to meet a global leader or even drive across the state to track down some billionaire. You don't even have the luxury of casual small talk. With such an incredibly narrow window, you're forced into making rapid-fire, really high-stakes decisions to maximize every single minute you have left. Which brings us to part two, the acoustic nightmare.
Now, this completely shatters that whole pop culture myth of telepathy. You know how movies usually portray mind reading as this crisp, perfectly clear voiceover playing inside your head? Yeah, no way. The human mind is a totally chaotic, multi-layered storm. If you walked into a crowded space, you wouldn't hear well-articulated secrets. You'd experience debilitating sensory overload. You'd be slammed with this messy soup of overlapping internal monologues, physical anxieties like, wait, did I leave the stove on? Someone humming the Macarena on an infinite loop? And just a rapid-fire barrage of fleeting visual memories. It is raw, unfiltered noise.
And that leads to the brutal reality of our timeline. Let's actually break this down. At minute 1, boom, total sensory overload hits you. By minute 5, you're practically just wrestling with the chaotic noise, desperately trying to make sense of the static. Honestly, it wouldn't be until minute 10 that you successfully figure out how to filter out the crowd and isolate a single target's core data stream. Think about that. That means a full 10 minutes, literally 1/6 of your precious hour, is burned just learning how to operate the machinery in your own head. Just like that, you're down to 50 minutes. All right, part 3, choosing your venue. The clock is literally bleeding out. You're down to 50 minutes, and you have to choose from 3 distinct strategic paths dictated purely by who is currently within driving distance of you right now. First up, the high-stakes negotiation. If you manage to sit across from a key client or a competitor, a 10-minute conversation bypasses months of posturing. You instantly know their exact bottom line, their hidden operational vulnerabilities, and exactly how to maximize your margins. It's super high yield with very low emotional risk. Second, we have the inner circle audit. Now, this is a massive emotional gamble. Spending the hour with partners or close allies gives you instant clarity on where you stand, but the risk here is incredibly high because, well, you cannot unhear uncomfortable personal truths once the power fades. Finally, there's the media stream sandbox. This is absolutely perfect for creators. You pitch concepts to your target demographic and just watch their raw, unfiltered psychological reactions flash in real time, completely bypassing their polite filters so you see exactly what hooks their attention. Moving on to part 4, the execution, also known as active prompting. So let's say you've picked your target and you're sitting right across from them. You can't just passively sip your coffee and wait for their deepest secrets to randomly float to the surface. To extract the precise data you need, whether that's a password, a hidden business strategy, or a genuine feeling, before time runs out, you have to become an active prompter. This means you literally have to trigger their brain to think about the exact hidden information you want, practically forcing their own memory retrieval systems to do the heavy lifting for you. It actually builds into this really neat, highly effective, step-by-step psychological formula. Step 1, you casually drop a heavily related keyword into the conversation. Step 2, the target's brain, entirely involuntarily, by the way, pulls up the specific file and all its associations just to process what you just said. And step 3, boom, the data is delivered straight to your headset. It's a highly calculated psychological trick to force the extraction of secrets on demand. To put that into perspective, here's exactly what that execution looks like in the real world. Let's say you need to know a competitor's secret supplier. You obviously don't just ask them for it. Instead, you drop this exact phrase. I heard the manufacturing costs for raw materials are spiking this month. Just to process that single statement and maybe formulate a lie and response, their brain will automatically and instantly pull up their specific supplier file, the exact names, and the real numbers from their memory. You literally just extracted their most guarded trade secret with a passing comment about the weather of their industry. Pretty wild, right?
And finally, part 5, the 0-0 hangover.
The minutes just drain away. 59, 59:30, 59:59, and 0. When that cosmic timer hits exactly 0, the sudden silence in your head is absolutely jarring. The connection is severed. You are back to just being you. But while the telepathy is gone, the consequences of what you just experienced, those are permanent. So, the crucial point we really need to take away here is this. The real challenge isn't over when the clock stops. The real challenge is the heavy psychological burden of the getaway. Because for the rest of your natural life, you have to interact with people knowing exactly how incredibly wide the gap is between what human beings actually think and what they actually say. You've seen behind the curtain of human consciousness, and, well, you can never unknow just how heavily filtered our reality really is. Which ultimately leaves us with one massive question. You know the severe time constraints, you know the acoustic chaos you have to fight through, and you know the heavy psychological burden you were going to carry forever. If that 60-minute timer appeared in your vision today, right this second, and you had to lock in your strategy right now, would you use your 1 hour for financial leverage to change your material life, creative insight to master your craft, or personal clarity to know exactly who truly has your back? Choose wisely.